Hi friends, welcome to English Study Point. Today here in this video lecture, I am going to discuss with you about a very prominent writer from Punjab and her name is Amrita Pritam. She was very well known for publishing one of her novel and that novel is Pinjar, and this in English was titled as The Skeleton, which was published by her in the year 1950, and this novel was made into an award winning film which is again titled as Pinjar, which was released in the year 2003 and directed by Chandra Prakash Dwivedi. Now let's talk about her personal details. She was born on 31 August in the year 1919 at a place which is situated in Punjab, which is Gujranwala, which now became part of Pakistan. And she was considered the first woman poet, Punjabi poet, writer, novelist, essayist, and autobiographer. She is equally loved by the Indians as well as Pakistanis. She wrote about 100 books of poetry, fiction, essays, Punjabi folk songs, biographies, and autobiographies, which were translated into many Indian and foreign languages. And during her lifetime, she approximately published 28 novels, 18 anthologies of prose, 16 miscellaneous prose volumes, and 5 short stories in total. And she was a Punjabi poet, very influential Punjabi poet who used to compose her works in Punjabi and Hindi language. So she was prominent figure in Punjabi literature, and in the year 1956 she was recipient of Sahitya Academy Award, and after receiving this award she was titled as the first and only woman to have been given the award for a work in Punjab. She used to compose her works in so many genres such as poetry, prose, autobiography, etc. Partition. So, base of her themes mainly revolves around partition related themes, and also most of her prominent works are Pinjar. This was work was published by her in the year 1950, and in English this work was titled as The Skeleton. In this work she created her memorable character and her name is Puro, and this Puro is an epitome of violence against women. So please remember this important character which was created by her in this novel, and name of that character is Puro. And another famous poetry written by her, and this is a kind of Punjabi poetry. Name of this poetry is Aaj Aakha Varis Shahnu. This poetry in English titled as Today I Invoke Waris Shah. It is an elegy on 18th century Punjabi poet. It is a kind of expression of her anguish over massacre during partition of India, and this elegy Aaj Aakha Waris Shahnu addressed to Sufi poet whose name is Waris Shah, and this Waris Shah was author of tragic saga that is Heer and Ranjha. In this elegy, she is again and again remembering horrors of partition. So she is well remembered for this Punjabi poetry that is Aaj Aakha Varisnu. Then another is a kind of long poetry published by her in and this poetry is Sunhede. Sunheda. So this is a kind of long poem, and also again this poem is considered as her magnum opus, and this work won Sahitya Academy Award in the year 1956. So for this work Sunhere, she won Sahitya Academy Award in the year 1956. Now, her first anthology of poems Amrit Leharan. So Amrit Leharan in English titled as Immortal Waves was published in the year 1936 when she was just 16, and in this was she married Pritam Singh, her husband, who was an editor to whom she was engaged in early childhood, and changed her name from Amrit Kaur to Amrita Pritam. Then another work published by her in the year 1944. It is a kind of poetry collection, and in English this slow Peed was titled as People's Anguish. In this work, she openly criticized war torn economy after Bengal famine of 1943. Like I have already said you that many of her works translated into so many other different kinds of languages. So even her autobiographies impacted lot many other writers from different regions, that they translated her works into their own languages. So her works have been translated into English, French, Danish, Japanese, Mandarin and other languages from Punjabi and Urdu, including her autobiographical works such as Black Rose and Rasidi Ticket. Now her books proved to be, means her works as well as novels proved to be so much useful to directors as well, that they try to adapt works of Amrita Pritam into their movies to hold a impacting influence on the audience viewing their films. So you can see that her book that is titled as Dharti Sagar Te Sipaiya was adapted into a film called Kadambari, which was released in the year 1965. Then another of her major book that is Una Di Kahani as Daku. So this was also released in the year. This was adapted into a story of this work adapted into a film, that is Decoyed, which was released in the year 1976, directed by Basu Bhattacharya. Then Pinjar. This work was considered to be as Amrita Pritam's masterpiece and was adapted into a film, and that film was also directed by Chandra Prakash Dwivedi, and Hindi film with the same title was released in the year 2003. So Hindi title of that movie also was Pinjar. So you can see how much impact these books hold on other people, that they are some what translating as well as adapting stories of her works into their own films. So this is how her works prove to be influential as well as useful for other directors and also language translators. Now we see her autobiographies. So she published lot many autobiographies during her lifetime, and among those autobiographies are, first one is Kala Gulab, that was published in the year 1968 in English, titled as Black Rose, and another autobiography published by her in the year 1976, and this Rasidi Ticket, this autobiography tries to talk about Amrita Pritam's relation with a man whose name is Sahir Ludhianvi. But afterwards, she came to know about him that Sahir Ludhianvi fallen into love with another woman, and her name was Sadhna Malhotra. So, after knowing Sahir Ludhianvi's relation with Sadhna Malhotra, she developed more proximity towards a man whose name is Inderjeet Imrose. So after which also after their relationship, she also wrote another biography, that is Amrita Imrose semicolon love story. So you can see that on the basis of her relationship, she used to write autobiographies too. And we see that another autobiography of her was Aksharon Ke Sahai, means Shadows of World. This was published in the year 2004. So Aksharon Ka Sahaya, which in English titled as Shadows of Words, published in the year 2004. Then another of her autobiography was Amrita Imro semicolon a love story. So this autobiography tried to depict her relationship with a, so in this autobiography she tries to depict her developed close relations with Inderjeet Imrose. In the year 1960, she broke all her relationship with her husband, whose name was Pritam Singh, and maintained a close relationship with a man whose name was Indrajit Imrose, who was by profession a famous artist as well as a writer. And together with him, she edited Nagmani, a monthly literary magazine in Punjab for 33 years. So she continuously for 33 years along with Indrajit Imrose edited Nagmani, which is a monthly literary magazine in Punjab. Then M.S. Sathiu, a renowned director of the partition movie Garam Hawa, he paid a theatrical tribute to her through his rare theatrical performance Ek Thi Amrita. So this was a major fact which is related to Amrita Pritam and also asked in your might be asked in your UGC net English literature exams. Now, in her during her lifetime, Amrita Pritam received lot many awards, and among those awards are first one is Punjab Ratan Award conferred upon her by Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh. So you can think that how many during her lifetime, that how many different kinds of awards for her work she received. And she was considered to be the first female recipient of the Sahitya Academy Award in 1956 for her work Sunhede. And then in the year 1982, she received Bharatiya Janani Peeth Award, which is India's highest literary award, for her work Kagaz Te Canvas, in English title as Paper and Canvas. Then, in the year 1969, she received Padma Shri. Then, in the year 2004, she received Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian award, and Sahitya Academy Fellowship Award. So, these two awards all collectively received by her in the year 2004. Then, D.Lit honorary degrees from many universities, including Delhi University, Jabalpur University, and Vishwa Bharati University. So, to honor this Amrita Pritam, they also given her so many kind of honorary degrees, and those honorary degrees are conferred to her by so many reputed universities such as Delhi University, Jabalpur, and Vishwa Bharati. Then, towards the end of her life, she was awarded by Pakistan Punjab Academy, to which she had remarked, "बड़े दिनों बाद मेरे मायके को मेरी याद आई." This is considered to be another important fact related to Amrita Pritam, that Pakistani Punjabi Academy also conferred award to her, and she remarked that award by saying, "बड़े दिनों बाद मेरे मायके को मेरी याद आई," and in English title as "My mother had remembered me after a long time."